So, you came to see the boss. Click subscribe, smash the like button, and don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss future videos. Always remember what the boss says. Don't fall for the okie doke.
Welcome back. This is Crypto Big Boss. I just wanted to take some time to basically bring you guys up to speed with what's going on in the crypto space as we continue our countdown towards the decision that needs to be made on February 27th with regards to Bitcoin futures. There's a really funny thing I used to love doing when I first started investing in cryptocurrency, and that was I would go to the exchanges like Bittrex and Cryptopia, and I would watch the whole pairing where you're looking at each one of the different cryptocurrencies, and it would fluctuate kind of like this site here on investing.com. You can see how the cost of Bitcoin is fluctuating every 5 seconds. And I tell you, I would actually pull my hair out watching this stuff, trying to actually guess where the particular coin was going to go. In 2017, that kind of investing was pretty common, day trading, hourly trading, and people made a lot of money doing that. Some people lost a lot of money doing that. It made me really think that there's got to be a better way to do this. And the better way, what I learned is that you really need to learn more about those projects that are beneath the coins, how that blockchain technology is being used. And stop looking at sites like this, watching the price or whatever index of whatever coin you're interested in bouncing around with your money hanging in the balance. You really need to learn the rules of the game. Rules of the game. There are influencers out there, and those influencers have to do with what the project is about, what problem they're trying to solve, how they're using the blockchain technology, and the current financial infrastructure, the big boys out there that could actually come in with big boots and change the game with regards to supply and demand of a particular coin. And we are at that point where the big boys are not just watching from the sideline, they are making preparations to make huge inroads on various crypto technologies. We're going to talk about one of those today and what some of the predictions are for Bitcoin coming up in 2019, 2020. This is an article on CoinGate featuring CBOE. Many of you may not be familiar with this, but CBOE happens to be the first exchange to basically feature Bitcoin futures. Here we have the CEO talking about why the big boys have not come in and started putting big money down with regards to Bitcoin. They talk about something here called ETNs. Okay, this whole talk about these electronically traded notes basically is trying to say that if these get approved, there will be more Bitcoin futures out there. Here they say the power of having that future there is also having an ETN that is more attractive to retail, and then institutions can lay off the risk on listed futures markets. This is basically one of those things that if you look at these kind of things closely, you start to see how the dominoes fall. Hey, we need ETNs for more futures to actually come to fruition. Here they go in and say that he went on to say it's easily accessible to average investors and doesn't have a higher barrier to entry, whereas Bitcoin futures would demand significant amount of legwork. Okay, so basically another option as far as trading with Bitcoin, but one would lead to more Bitcoin futures. So when we come and we start looking at some of the other issues, they asked about whether the government shutdown was delaying the launch of cryptocurrencies. And here's what he had to say about that. He says that the regulators are always reluctant to approve ETNs, and in tenure of a government closure, it is even more difficult to predict the launch of new products like Ether futures. Moreover, CoinPage reported also that the SEC's latest order on freezing all pending proceeding doesn't necessarily change the status of a Bitcoin ETF approval. Okay, so I tend to agree with this. If you watched some of my earlier videos, I talk about the current Security and Exchange Commissioners. You know, we got 5 people here that have to make a decision. And they're trying to say that this government shutdown and this latest SEC order on freezing these pending proceedings is affecting the launch of these Bitcoin ETFs. You know, that's a bunch of bull. Look, if you got a government shutdown and you can freeze things while we're in shutdown, you can unfreeze things while we're in shutdown, and you can levy whatever decision you want. This is a small body of people. Yes, the legwork behind doing the work that the government has to do with regards to these different exchanges will be there and may be hampered by a government shutdown. But guess what? The show must go on. Okay, they're not going to stop the processing of America's taxes for all the citizens because of a government shutdown. They're not going to stop every single government official from actually working because of a government shutdown. They're not going to continue to not pay people who are tenured and have been with the federal government for many, many years, much longer. Okay, we're at day 29 of a government shutdown, the longest in history. But guess what? The work is still going on. The government is still functioning, and it is not totally hampered and crippled. So the idea that a government shutdown is going to stop them from making a critical decision with regards to this currency, I think is ludicrous. At most, it may be delayed, but you know, at best, maybe the shutdown could perhaps end within the next month. We are still in January of 2019. This is what I mean when I say we've got to understand the rules of the game. So let's continue to look at what some of the prospects are saying with regards to cryptocurrency and what the future of Bitcoin might be. I like this site here. This is Innovative. Okay, they are always out there putting out very good articles. And today I want to talk about some of the things that I saw there. They talk about they review the whole frenzy of 2017 and how Bitcoin went up to $19,500 and has fallen below $4,000, and how that's caused a lot of trouble with basically a lot of the retail investors. Here they're talking about how there's been an emotional strain on these folks after losing so much money, and how it's a psychological disruption. But then they go on and talk about how there's professionals out here like Mike Norgas who believes that there's going to be an ongoing adaptation of Bitcoin, okay, throughout 2019 and 2020. That I tend to agree with that. This falls in line with my theory that it's the blockchain technology that is the real product here. It's not just whether we look at some graph and it goes up or down. If we continue to look at some of these predictions, I love looking at these predictions. You got John McAfee out here saying that Bitcoin will hit $1 million by 2020. You got the chief commercial officer of BitPay saying that it might reach 15,000 to 20,000 by mid-2019. You've got Tom Lee predicting that the institutional investors will start to invest in Bitcoin, and that he believes that it could reach 36,000 by 2019. You got Ronnie Moaz, cryptocurrency analyst, forecast that the Bitcoin could hit 20,000 here by 2019. We've got folks out here thinking it could reach 50,000. We've got folks saying that here we got another person, Fran Stranja, that thinks Bitcoin might hit 200,000 by 2019. These are just incredible numbers. And all of them are saying that they believe that now's the time to invest. Okay? I always have to caveat what we put out on this channel with do your own research. Because inherently when you put money in any investment, there is risk. However, I have to, I have to look at this optimism of these experts and realize that they have done some research and they believe that Bitcoin has an incredible future. Whether you believe it's going to go up to 15,000, 25,000, 50,000, 36,000, or 200,000, or even $1 million by 2020, all of those are in the right direction. With Bitcoin sitting around $3,500, you'd be crazy not to at least, if you've got the money to put into it, to get yourself a little bit, get a little bit so you don't miss out on one of the biggest potential investments that you could make to benefit yourself and your family here in 2019. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please go ahead and smash the like button and ring that bell so that you can go ahead and get future videos from this channel. And as we move towards that February 27th deadline for them to make the decision, we're going to be watching closely. We invite you guys to keep coming back to our channel and spread the word about the information you're getting here. And if you like to lay out a couple of comments, please do. We invite you to go ahead and do that as well. With that, I'm going to let this one go, and I'll see you guys on the next one. This is Crypto Big Boss, and I'm out of here.